The Hope Garden Project began in 2004. HOPE is an acronym standing for Helping Omaha's People Eat. It's modeled after a similar program run by Master Gardeners in Madison, Wisconsin. This particular project is run by the Master Gardeners of Douglas-Sarpy County. In 2004, they had an impressive amount of produce that they were able to donate to the Omaha Food Bank. And each year they've increased that amount of tonnage by about ½ ton per year. In 2008, they donated over 3.5 tons of produce from this garden project. This isn't because they've added the amount of gardening space each year, which is about 1/4 acre. They've actually been able to get more out of this area just using some really smart principles. They use intensive cropping techniques. They do rotation planting. All of the materials that are used in this particular garden are locally available products. So the compost is a locally available product, so is the straw. They also use a recycling principle in that to keep the weeds down between the rows, what they've done is laid down 5 layers of newsprint and then covered that with straw. Straw is also locally available. And what they've been able to do is increase the amount that they get each year from this particular project. As you can see, we have okra growing right here, we have zucchini squash growing here, cucumbers, tomatoes. It's a huge area, it's all completely planted. And they have an arrangement, the Master Gardeners do, with the Omaha Food Bank to come out on a twice-weekly basis and pick up the produce that's raised here. That produce is then taken to the Omaha Food Bank where it's distributed to low-income and needy people, primarily the elderly. There's no overhead watering in this particular garden, and that's because you'll notice that there's primarily drip irrigation throughout the garden. We actually had water brought to the site through a local grant from a garden club, and that's allowed us to put irrigation lines up and down the rows to just water the plants that we need to do. With the integrated pest management process, we've actually been able to keep the insect and disease problems to a minimum. The idea here is to do as little spraying as possible. When you're talking about edible crops, that's a good idea. The other thing though too is that it keeps your pollinators alive and well, and you'll notice that there's bees and wasps and all kinds of things flying around through here helping themselves to the nectar, and that really helps with production of produce. Why is a community project like this so important? Well, it's because the HOPE Project is able to provide nutritious, wholesome foods to the underprivileged and elderly in our area, and it's a way of giving back on the part of the Master Gardeners.